today with Caroline at Rediscovering Real Love, where I talk about all things life, love, dating, family, relationship, God, and much more. And today we are going to be talking about relationships. I have with me some ladies that's going to be sharing their experience, their encounter, their history, some feelings, some emotions, their thoughts about relationships. And we want to gear this podcast and also this discussion to every woman out there doing relationship. Men, you are not exempt, but every woman that's struggling, that has struggled, that's still trying to figure out and navigate how to do relationships. And also especially to every young girl out there who may be motherless or fatherless, who have not had that intimate or deep conversation with a mother or a mother-like figure to teach her how to do relationships. And we see the struggles all over. Do y'all agree? Yes. It's out there. And so we want to talk about some of the woes, the blessings, the maintenance of relationships. We know that relationships can be tough, but we also know that they can be a blessing as well, especially when you're doing them right. So we're just going to dive in, and hopefully you ladies tune in and find some encouragement, some insight, some guidance in how you navigate your relationship so that it can be healthy. So the first thing I want to know, first of all, before we even do that, I'm going to let these ladies just briefly introduce who they are and if they are currently in a relationship.
Hello, my name is Michaela. I've been married for 25 years.
Hi, I'm Ariel, and I am currently single.
And I'm Kayla, and I am single, ready to mingle.
She keeping it real, okay? She's keeping it real. And of course, I'm Caroline, and I have been married for 27 years and counting. But you know what? We're going to have fun with this, but we also just want to, just give some insight, because we all have the girlfriends or the family member that's called and talked about how she was dogged, how her man cheated on her, and she's a good woman, and yada yada. We've heard it all, and even ourselves has been in some positions like that too. But first of all, I want to know, how did you guys first learn relationship? I think that's a good place to start, because not everybody get that opportunity like I had to learn on my own. And some had the privilege of having that mother or mother-like figure to teach them. But for me personally, mine was through either books, self-help books, relationship books, magazines, television shows, all of that, love stories, the happily ever after all stories. That was my way of learning relationships. What about you?
Mine was also the happily ever after stories. I lived in the house with mostly women. My grandmother, she wasn't married, didn't have a man around the house, so really didn't learn relationship that way. So I learned it as I go in through the books, storybooks.
What about you, Ariel?
Well, I had the best example with you and Dad. Just seeing how you guys love each other, communicate, and sort out your problems in a respectful manner without the cursing at each other or putting down each other, belittling each other. And also, you would always counsel us on what to look for and how to be in a relationship, knowing our worth, and that we are loved and we are more than what we expect of ourselves. But I would say I was rebellious, didn't really take the warnings or the lessons that you were teaching us. I just wanted to learn the hard way, my way.
Mm-hmm.
So,
what about you, Kayla?
I would say for me, I don't remember seeing healthy relationships growing up. My father, when I was young, abandoned me, so I felt that rejection automatically. And so it was watching like your Disney movies, the Cinderella, the Beauty and the Beast fairy tales. Mm-hmm. So I just knew fairy tale relationships and thought that's what relationships were.
And do you guys think that that's what a lot of women and young girls especially are dealing with right now, because they see the fairy tale and that's what they want?
Yeah.
Do you feel like That's what a lot of them
Yep.
dealing with. And another thing you mentioned too, Kayla, about the rejection, and that's huge. That is so huge, and especially when you feel like you've been rejected by the people who supposed to love you, supposed to guide you, supposed to protect you, supposed to be there to oversee you. Like Kayla said, her father, and I went through the same thing. And you feel rejected, and then you start looking for that in all the wrong places and people and things. So let's just speak to that. What are some of y'all thoughts and feelings on that when as it relates to young girls today? What do you feel like you see and what you notice?
I will, being that I have a teenage daughter, her rejection that she's received from her father, right now she's going through, someone says, hey, I like you, and guess what? She now likes them. Doesn't have no connection with them, but because she craves that male attention, whoever gives her that attention, she's gonna, I like you too. And it could be the worst situation ever. So.
Mm-hmm. And then I know a lot of times too, we talked about, but you can have a father, and that father being in the home but unavailable. So he is present but not present. And so a lot of young girls struggle, even women, into adulthood still struggle with wanting that acceptance and wanting to be loved. So what would we say to, what could one of you or all of us say to a young girl today? What would be if she's gone through that, if that young girl is out there, if that woman is out there and she still feel that rejection, that sense of I don't belong, I'm not valued, no one cares, no one loves me, what would you say to her now that some of us been through it and navigated through it, however that was? What could we say to her now to just stop herself in her tracks and sit down and talk to her? What would that conversation look like?
Well, I know with Dad always working, and he's a hard worker, and he is a good dad. He's one of the best dads, love and take care of his family, always there when we need him. But he was also here, but we didn't have that, daughter-father time, or, how there's just some dads out there that just, is best friends with their daughters, and they, once we try to look for that in men, even though our dad was here, he just wasn't really here like that.
Mm-hmm.
So we do kind of just cling on to a male, any male, that will give us the attention or give us what our dad didn't give us.
Okay.
So
and attention.
Right,
So you
attention.
think that's
the
what,
biggest thing,
man.
attention.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, and I never even really looked at it like that, but that's what it is.
Mhm.
For a lot of them, just the attention.
Yes.
Yeah.
That male attention.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because that's what I experienced as growing up. I wanted the male attention. I didn't have my dad around. I knew where he was, but he wasn't around. So every male that came up and said that they liked me or they thought I looked good, I cling to that. Oh, they like me. So I'm going to do everything I can possible to keep them, because
To keep that
they
attention.
like the attention. Yeah.
Yep.
Wow. Okay, so hopefully, ladies, and grab your pen. I'm a note taker because I like to catch some of this, because some of this stuff that you're going to hear, maybe you can go ahead on and do a self-inventory or examine right where you are and how you went into your relationship. Did you learn it, or was it self-taught? Was it observation? Was it fairy tale? Like we mentioned some of that stuff. And then what was that thing that you was looking for? Were you looking to be accepted? Was you looking for that male attention? And were you looking to be liked by him? Because if those are some of the ways, then how would we tell her, what could you do right now to stop doing relationships that way?
I would tell, like I told my daughters, is find out who you are first.
Okay.
And find out who you want to be first before. Don't be quick to get in a relationship because you have time. And if you jump into one so fast, especially in high school, you're starting to get to know yourself, trying to get through the classes and all that, and through the peer pressure. Find out who you are that way and your worth, and then that relationship comes, later. It doesn't have to be like right away.
Right.
That way, you won't fall into the trap of trying to please that person, of thinking that you have to sleep with them to keep them, or you have to be a certain way to keep them. So I would say first, wait before just jumping into a relationship. That's why I tell my daughters, because I don't want them to follow the same way, because I got pregnant early. So age 16, so I'd rather them not follow my footsteps.
Okay. Anybody else want to speak to that? What would we tell them?
I think for me, I would just tell them that that feeling of rejection and abandonment that you feel is a valid feeling, but you can't feel it trying to get someone to replace whatever that person that left you or got you feeling like you need the attention. Piggybacking off of Michaela, know what you want. Build yourself up in God, let Him fill the void. And once you do that, then you start building healthy relationships. So that way you don't get the things that we see of the abuse, whether it's emotional, physical.
And I think if you do it that way, you'll know the difference between love and lust.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Someone mentioned crave. That's what most women crave. They crave, and it's no different from any other cravings that we have. And when you really want something so bad and you're craving it, you go after it. You pursue it, and you'll do pretty much anything to get it. So I've never been an addict, unless we're talking about potato chips, of course. But I've never been a drug addict, alcohol addict, or whatever. So I don't understand those type of cravings, right? And I would never compare cravings to potato chips to an addiction to a drug or whatever, because I know it's totally different. They don't even compare. And I'm definitely not minimizing nothing the cravings people have, but I know that they are real. And I like the fact, Kayla, that you said that those feelings are real. They are. And we're not saying that you can just sweep them under the rug, get rid of them quick or whatever, but I know most people, when they talk about addictions and how they go to AA or NA or meetings and all this other stuff, that they actually have to replace those addictions when they're overcoming them with something. And so what would be our tip or encouragement to some woman or young lady that is craving this male attention and affection and this love and all this stuff that she wants, while she's trying to learn herself? Because we did say that she needs to get to know who she is. And sometimes we all know that's not as easy. It's easier said than done for others, because when you want what you want and you want that male affection and attention, you're going to go after it. So while she's getting to know herself, how could she replace that craving, or what would she replace that craving with something else to keep her on the road of getting to know her value, her worth?
I had to learn how to, and I would say for me it was like a void. I was missing something. So how I learned to complete that void was to get myself grounded in God.
Oh, okay.
Because that's if you want to know what real love is, start with Him.
Yes,
I
absolutely.
would say start with Him first, and I wished I did, because then I would have been in a way better situation. I'm glad still learn the lessons that I had to learn of where I'm at now. But I think it would be more better if I did it with Him first, because His love. Now I know
it completes you.
It completes you.
Yeah.
That will make me complete. And I had to learn the hard way, and just a lot of pain.
Oh yes, and this is what we're witnessing today. So let me now I'm going to kind of just jump ship a little bit, and just talk about dating today. How scary is it? How difficult? How hard is it today? And we've already established that relationships are the one thing that you would never get away from, because you have the mother and daughter relationship, the father and son relationship, the parent and child relationship, the best friends relationship, co-worker relationship, spousal relationships. All these relationships we have to do. And we know, even if you don't like someone, especially if you're on a job, you still have a relationship. It may not be as intimate or close, but guess what? You got to communicate. You got to work with this person. You got to deal with them. You have to learn to coexist. So we'll never ever be able to get away from relationship. So the best thing we can do is tune in and have the discussion about healthy relationships and how we build them, how we establish these relationships. And again, audience, if you're tuning in right now, this is what we're talking about. This is why we're having the discussion, so that we can learn more healthier relationships and learn how to set those parameters or boundaries and give people limits while we're doing relationships. So again, we know relationships can be hard, but they can also be a blessing. And so we might as well learn them, right? Because we have to do them anyway. So what about dating today? How scary is it? I say, for me, I'm grateful that 27 years and counting, that, yeah, we've been through the valleys. We've definitely been in the trenches of this thing. And obviously, we've overcome some things. We learned some things along the way. And as imperfect as the relationship still is, we've committed to do it together in partnership, right? So, but for those of you who said you were single, this is where we want y'all to chime in and talk about that. I know you said you saying ready to mingle.
So yes, I did say that, and I'm gonna stick with it. But
yeah,
I will say this: it's definitely hard. You have too much social media at people's hand, and I feel like there needs to be a foundation when you're ready to date, and it's just start at the friendship level. Because if you move to that next stage of just dating and things ain't going the way it needs to, it's quick to say, I'm done. I got options. I got this. I got that. Why? We got Snapchat. You got Instagram. You got Twitter. You got Facebook. You probably got some other stuff I don't even know about. But you got all these options, and you got people DMing people. So it's like a lack of loyalty, not so much of I don't trust you, but if you're receiving all these messages, how do you balance and really be in a relationship? So I am ready to mingle, but I also realize it's going to be much tougher now, because now I know who I am and where I want to be at versus just accepting.
Would you want to meet a guy right now in today's time? You talked about the social media, but would you really do you think that's a healthy start, to meet someone on social media?
Absolutely not.
Why?
For one, I have big trust issues, and I'm just gonna put it on out there.
Okay.
If I don't trust anyone who's here to where I can verbally see you and speak with you, then I automatically don't trust you, because there's so much catfishing out there. People faking on social media to be someone that they know they're not, using fake profile pages, and then they want to say things on Facebook that they really don't mean, but just to get a female's attention. So I would say no. I don't do people on social media.
I definitely don't think it's for everybody. The social media thing, it might work for some, but I don't think it's for everybody. Only way I would be up to it, it would have to be someone I'm close with,
Right.
that introduced me, versus like where I live at, I really be like, there ain't no men here. I live in Iowa. I don't think there's no men here. But,
Right.
so it could be someone that I'm friends with that lives in another state, and that might be my connection. But it would literally have to be someone that I trust, because, and when I say I trust, like I trust them with my life. Because if I'm getting entertained in a relationship, that person now has access to my life. So that would be probably the only way that I honestly would use social media to date someone.
But I feel like, how would you even get to really know somebody? How do you start to get to know someone? I know it takes time, for one, to pursue any relationship. It takes time. It takes getting to know each other. But how do you get to know someone on social media if you're not physically, watching their walk versus what they're talking?
No.
So they can say one thing but move in a whole nother way in whatever state that they're in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
No, I know what you're saying.
That's just why I don't feel
Because
I can do social media.
It's too much camouflaging,
yes.
masquerading,
Yes.
and yeah, you can embellish a whole lot of stuff. So I totally agree with that. I thank God I'm already married, because I don't think I would be able to start on social media.
Right.
I just wouldn't. It's too scary. But I also like what you said too about the personal connection.
Right.
It has to be. That's the only way. It would have to be somebody I totally trust, and somebody that I know for a fact has my back and just not gonna misguide me or hooking me up or setting me up with somebody. No, it would have to be some type of connection on that way. But here's the thing. What about, because you see it, I hear it all on reality TV now. Oh, he DM'd me, she got in my inbox, this is how, and again, like y'all said, that works for some people. It does. But for me, and remember, audience, this is our personal thoughts right now and feelings. So you may feel different. And we're not here to negate how you feel or whatever. It's just us personally sharing what we think about the whole dating thing, because again, the young girls are out there and it's disheartening to see them, and you see it all on social media. They in a relationship and I'm so in love and he's this and he's it, and then they get like 200 and something likes, and then the following week they with somebody different. I see it personally, and that's scary and it's sad. I don't understand how, you have all these people around you and they're applauding you and they're, complimenting you on this relationship, and then when you in the next one, I'm talking about the following week, that says a lot. It lets me know that you are searching and that you want that love. But we're just here to share some ways that you can do this more healthier, so that you can probably have your forever after. Okay? We're not saying that's impossible. We're just saying if you do it right and you're going it right, it is possible. Is what we're saying. But in today's time, it's pretty tough to try to get these relationships and to upkeep them and to maintenance them and all that. So ladies, now, and I'm gonna switch gears here right now, because even the relationships that you see may be working and lasting and appear to be happy and all that other stuff, and then the woman, she doing all the right things and she's found her mate, so she believes, and they going good at it for a minute, and then he's out there cheating. In what ways do you think us as women contribute to some of the breakdowns in these relationships?
Spoiling them.
Okay.
Making them think that it's okay to treat me any kind of way.
Okay. All right. That's good. I like that, because I often tell women that people, especially men, are going to treat you the way you treat yourself. That's just the bottom line. So what do you think the woman looks for in the relationship versus the man? Because for us, the security.
Yes. Yeah. Definitely much the security. If you're going to be able to take care of me, if you're going to be financially stable, his background, all of that.
Do you think young girls look for that? What do you think they look for? Because I remember in our era coming up, that's what I was after. I'm going to be honest with you. And of course, this was in like 1991, 92, okay? That's what I wanted. I already knew at that age, 19 years old, 19, 20, that what I wanted in a mate. And I didn't want to be dating around. I definitely I don't have time for that, right? But what do you think young girls today look for? Because we're in a different era.
They looking at their wallet, what they driving, what they wearing.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even say they're not even looking at their career, because someone could be a drug dealer or getting money the wrong way, as long as they got income.
Right. And I don't even think they even care how they treat them. You know what I'm saying? Because you get some women that, off the bat, if you're calling me the B word and thinking that's okay, no.
Well, most of them refer to themselves as the B word.
That's what I'm saying.
So it's okay for the men to call it.
Yeah.
If you're gonna call yourself that and refer to yourself as the B word, then why doesn't anyone else have the right to do so?
Exactly. Because that's why I think that we should learn how to respect ourselves. If we show them how we respect ourselves, then they're gonna respect us. But if we show them that we don't even care about ourselves, then of course they're gonna treat us just the way we give them.
Yeah,
right.
How we present ourselves. And that's what we're dealing with. So what do you think men versus women look for when they come in that relationship. We already talked about us. Some of us, we look for the security and the stability. Some y'all said some of the younger women today, they looking for the bank account, what they driving, the material stuff. They're more materialistic. But now, what do you think some men look for when they coming into these relationships?
I think a man that's not really ready for a relationship is coming to looking just like a woman to fill a void.
Yeah.
If the mom did everything, makes me think of the movie Baby Boy. If the mom did everything for him, he don't need a woman. He needs a mom to basically feed him, do his laundry, drop that female off to work so he can keep the car. But I think if a man that's really ready to look to be in a relationship, I believe he's looking for that, not just companionship but partnership. We're gonna do this together. We moving forward. We have goals. So that's what I think the two difference would be for a man who's ready versus not ready.
Because I thank God for the time that I was dating my husband that I'm married to now. That's what he was looking for. He was looking for somebody that wasn't quick to jump in the bed, that was, respect themselves, God-fearing woman. So that's what he was looking for. And I didn't even know that he was testing me to see if I was going to do that when we went out on a date. And at the age that we was dating each other, 18 and 19, he was already mature enough that he was looking for. Because I know what I was looking for, just like you, security, if he's going to take care of me, if he's going to respect me. And even though I had a child and he had a child, but we already knew that at that time that was just lust and that wasn't really real. So now we wanted something better for each other, and that's what we were looking for. So, and I'm glad that I found him, because we didn't sleep with each other, none of that, until we got married.
Oh wow, that's good. And then I want to be clear on something too when we talk about the security, because I don't want to mislead anyone to thinking we just want someone to take care of us. And in the sense of security, what we mean, and I think I'm safe in saying what we mean in security is not us just stay home and have a man. No, because that's not a helpmate. But that security in the sense of I'm going to come alongside, I'm going to be helpmate, I'm going to work, I'm going to do everything that I can. But in the event that I hit my lowest point, are you going to be there?
Right.
To console, to comfort, to help me back up so we can run this race together again. So I just wanted to be clear in that. All right. What do you think? Now some men, let's talk about this here too, because you can do all the right things, lady. I just watched a reality show the other day. And this girl was talking about how I know I'm a good woman. I cook, I clean, I do everything for him. I do everything. And when I tell you, he checked out of the relationship, completely checked out. And I couldn't help but sit and it was just, I pretty much was almost in tears too, because I see it over and over and over again. And these are celebrities. These are major influencers. These are beautiful women that have their own. And still she went through this. So if you're going through that and you're the woman that's saying, I hold it down, I cook, I clean, I'm doing all this stuff, I'm taking care of everything, and you know that you're the total package, and you're going through this, then speak to that. What does that say? Because a lot of them, they think it's me. And that's what she said. What's wrong with me? Why is that the very first thing that we think? When a man, you done it all. You the total package. You take care of him, clean, cook, do everything that you need to as a fiance or a girlfriend, not necessarily a wife yet. You do all this stuff and he checks out. And then right away you blame yourself. What is that?
Well, I'm going to speak on it personally because I just recently went through this. I was with a guy for 6 years who is the father of my baby girl. Did it all.
Ooh, and she had a baby.
And she had a baby.
Him.
That's right.
Yes.
So I did it all. I cooked, I cleaned. Even sometimes massaged him after a hard day of work. I did everything a wife would do at a girlfriend price. And
Wow.
I thought, after so many years, it's time for you to step up to the plate and put a ring on it. That never happened. I got a promise ring, but that wasn't the real deal. And I don't know what the promise was because he never kept any of his words that he has told me. So, so I felt, after 6 years, okay, this is the time. Maybe he's gonna. I gave him another year because at the 5-year mark, I was like, okay, if this next year that comes about, which was 2021, if he doesn't get a ring, I'm out the door. That didn't happen. So here I stayed and I stayed. And eventually, something just clicked. And of course, my mom was also, being my backbone, saying, you deserve more. And I felt because I already had a kid before him, then had one with him, what man is going to want a woman with 2 kids? And why would I want to start over if I spent so many years building with this guy? But what did we build? We didn't build anything.
Wow. So you didn't open up so much. You didn't open up a door, because then my next question is, how long do you think a woman that has gone into this relationship and have given of herself so much, how long? Because this girl that I'm talking about on this show went through the same thing, and I believe she was with him for like 8 years, and he bought her a 7-carat ring, 7 carats. And but how long do you think that we should be in these relationships? How long does it take? Because we go in, we already say we
Right.
go in knowing what we want, which is why I believe that we hit the ground running. I believe this is why we give our all. This is why we lay it all on the table, because we are saying to you that, okay, you're it.
Right.
That, I'm just gonna go ahead on and lay it all on the table. So I'm gonna go ahead on and do this, and then you should prove yourself. You get what I'm saying? So how long do you think? What is a healthy time to say, okay, let's get to know each other, let's whatever? How long should it take?
1 to 2 years, the longest.
I
Okay.
agree.
Yeah, because when I went into this relationship that I was in for 6 years, I've always liked guys older because I thought that they were more mature than the guys my age or younger. And when I got in this relationship, I knew what I was ready for. And I expected him to be ready for what I was ready for, and he wasn't.
Okay.
So that's where all of this, stuff came about, to where we disagreed. We always argued and always had problems because I was so hard on him and trying to make him be ready to be a husband, and he just wasn't ready.
That's what we do. What about the ultimatums? Because she gave him an ultimatum. Do you think that's a good thing to do? Give him an ultimatum? Do you think it's a wise thing to do? What?
Yeah, because it'll prove if they really want you or not.
And I could speak to that myself too, because I had to. And ultimatums. Here's the thing: when we say ultimatums, I don't mean that you're forced to do anything. An ultimatum is a choice, just like anything else. So I'm not saying that you don't have no other options. I'm just saying, here's my deadline. Here's my timestamp, and when I want to be married. And if that can't happen, then that probably saying we probably just go separate ways. But I love that you said, I love that you said you was doing all the wifely duties at a girlfriend price. And so many people are doing that. So many women. I'm telling you, it's all around us. So again, if we can help encourage and inspire, motivate, or guide, or help you navigate some healthy relationship, this is what this talk is all about. This is what we're talking about. All right. The other thing was, we already talked about why you think women blame themselves when it doesn't work. Or did we not speak on that? I don't think we talked a lot about that. But going back to the girl, that's what she said. What is it about me? And her friends were there saying, there's nothing. It's not you. It's not you. It's him. So let's speak to that. What do you think? Why we think we blame us first?
Because it's like, what don't I have that the next woman
Yeah.
have?
Yeah.
What is it about me that you're not attracted to, or that you don't want, and that makes you go find it in someone else? Like, am I hard to talk to? Do I not communicate? Do I not show you the love and affection that you're looking for? Is it my outer appearance, because I don't have big breasts, big butt, and a small waist? Like, what is it?
Wow. Yeah. That's the superficial, unfortunately, and that's the times we in right now. I know you said it the other day that most of those men are looking for that. All the plastic and and to each his own. Everybody have their own preference. We're talking about real relationships and how to keep them healthy. It has to be more than your outer appearance. You got to go a little bit deeper past that, what's on the outside, because when that starts fading and sagging and all of that, then what is he holding on to? What else is he holding on to?
And if they're also, I would say, on their end, is there a void that he was trying to fill and didn't get it filled? So I say maybe they should have that communication. Okay, so what it is, maybe we need to go to counseling. Even though we're not married, maybe we need to go to counseling. Since we can't really talk to each other, let's go to counseling and see if we can get some help to open up what you're feeling, that void. I got a void. So what making you go fill that void with another woman that I can't please to you? And maybe he's not happy with himself. Maybe he needs to find God, because that's the only person that's going to fill that void. So yeah, that's how it's.
That's awesome, and that's definitely important. And the communication, when you start recognizing the communication breaking down, then that's definitely a red flag. If he starts, trying to stay away on purpose, and I don't want to talk every time you say, well, what's going on, nothing, and that's a red flag. Then at that point, like you said, it needs to be some counseling, especially if you know that, and it could be the strongest of relationship. You just got to be mindful of those red flags, the breakdowns in the relationship, and it may not necessarily be another woman, like you said. It could just be his mama issues, or his daddy issues, that and you're nothing like his mom, and all of that, and so he got to a place where he just he checked out of the relationship. You was gonna say?
I was just gonna say, it kind of goes back to one of your questions you asked us about what are the things that we look for, and I think when you brought up about the mama issues and daddy issues, if you can see him before you get full blown into that relationship, at that friendship, like, how is he interacting with mom if mom is around?
Right.
Okay, if mom's not around, why is mom not around? What is going on? Because those would be red flags in the beginning too. And the next part I would say is, when you brought up about red flags, us as females, we overlook the flags. Oh, it was just this one time. Oh, it was just the second time. We're seeing the pattern, and we're letting the pattern continue.
I like that.
Yep.
So people should heal first. And I know that's easier said than done too. I know we probably discussed a lot in this short time, but certainly we'll come back and have more dialogue about this. But healing is key. So if you've been abandoned, rejected, you feel unloved, you feel like you're not valued, or you don't understand your worth, you need this male attention or affection because you was missing it, because you were, all these feelings and emotions, like we already confirmed, they are real, okay? They true. We've been through it, and which is why we're here again. For those of you who are tuning in right now, we want to have this dialogue and continue this so we can help people, help women, men too. I mean, we're not just, leaving you out on purpose, but we definitely want to speak to the heart of women, because we do go through a lot. We do take on a whole lot, and innately we are nurturers and consolers and comforters and helpers, and those are things that we want to do, and then we neglect ourselves. and then we have no one around to pour back into us, to build us up, to lift us up, to encourage us. So this is why we're here, ladies, because we recognize it, we've been there, we've done it, and if we can help you to get back to a place to where you get to know you. This is what one of the ladies shared in the beginning. Get to know who you are. Know your worth, know your value, because people gonna only treat you the way you treat yourself. So I think personally, get your healing first. Stay off social media. Heal first. Start there. Okay? Any of you ladies want to offer any other encouragement, anything else?
I would say just date yourself first.
Oh,
Spend time with yourself, quality time. I know I've lacked it. Because I was so focused on my kids, that man, the relationship, what he needed, what my kids needed, to where I did forget about myself, and I wasn't pampering myself or dating myself to know what is it that I like to do, what calms me, what makes me happy, what are my hobbies, what's my gift, what's my talent. I don't know any of that stuff because, like I said, I invested all my time in my kids, his kids, and him.
Guess what? She just gave us our next, and we're going to talk about that when we come back. What does that look like? Dating yourself. What does that really look like? Because that's how you get to know yourself, but most importantly, you really want to get to know who you are. You go to the one who created you, and that is God. That's who created you. He knows every single thing about you. So hopefully you ladies will share this. And I'm gonna ask one more question too before we even go. What have you learned in that 6-year relationship that you know you're not gonna do again when you go to the next one?
Ooh, that is a good question. I would say, for number one, I know to ask what the motives are. What is your motives? What's your intentions? What is your short-term goals, your long-term goals? And then I also know not to do wifely duties when I'm just a girlfriend.
Right?
That's the major lesson.
But you know what? Hey, you know what? Remember when I used to always say, when you were saying, I just wasted 6 years, you know what? You learned some invaluable lessons.
Yes.
You've learned something. And that's how we feel. Sometimes we wasted all these years in this relationship that didn't work or didn't go anywhere. But you learned some things. And now you know not to even go into them like that.
Yes.
No. I'm not about to get here washing your drawers. Cooking you no meal.
Right.
You take me to eat out, and if I have some coins left, one day I'll treat you to McDonald's, Burger King, something like that. I'm not sweeping your floor, I'm not making your bed. We're not doing all that. We're dating anyway.
Yep.
And ladies, this is what you have to understand. Quit going in here trying to prove a point to a man by cooking and cleaning and showing him you wife material and you're ready and you all that. No, we're just dating. I'm your girlfriend, you my boyfriend. So we're gonna go out here and we can cut these coupons together. We can let's go to the park. Let's have fun. Because we just dating.
Right.
I'm not about to do this.
Right, because I see that you're showing him that I don't even need to put a ring on it because you already doing it for me.
Exactly.
So I was like, I'm going to stop that right now
There
because
you
you
go.
start to enable it, and then he's going to continue to do it. So he's going to be like, well, why I got to put a ring on it? You already doing it for me.
Thank
So
you.
you have to be careful, very careful. So don't go in because we do, like you said, we're nurturers and we just go in because that emptiness that we're feeling, we're gonna make sure that he gets all of that attention, and then we end up losing ourselves.
And I love the fact when y'all said in the beginning about we look for the attention, and here's when we get it. Is it the right attention?
Right.
What's his motives? You get what I'm saying?
Right.
And we can be as transparent, and most times women are. Because we just come right in because we know what we want.
Right.
You know what I mean? And we come in, like I said, right out the gate, wide open, because we know. And we looking at him as, okay, you could be a potential. You can do. But what's his mindset?
Right.
Actions speak louder than words. Let me
Yes.
tell you something. I don't care what times we're in, what era we're in, how much technology we have, how much access we have to social media and all the hype messages and all the love stories we see evolve in social media, all that stuff. Let me tell you, never get away from, especially when you're doing relationships, never get away from the old adage that says, oh, actions speak louder than words. You better know that. Because people can say a whole lot of sweet nothing and doing nothing about it. Okay? Watch that brother actions. Okay? Watch how he move. All right? So that's what we need to be mindful of. So thank you for tuning in, ladies. I really appreciate this. We are coming back because Ariel gave us our next session. So remember, we're going to be talking about dating yourself. What does that look like to get to know who you are? Okay? So thank you for tuning in with Caroline at Rediscovering Real Love, where we talk about all things life, love, dating, family, relationship, God, and much more. We really appreciate your time. Thank you. Hey, listen, if you found any value in anything that we've said today, please feel free to share. Also, I want to invite you to my podcast and also to my blogs. I'll include the link to both of those here in this video. Feel free to share those as well and leave a comment.